with this COVID stay order. Today, we're joined by Katelyn and Traci, in addition to our normal team, Karen Lynch and Karen Whitney. And the topic today is kind of, I guess, coping with this time, as well as coping without your Botox and fillers. And that is, what do we do? And you know, is there anything else that we can do while our wrinkles are starting to come back? So I'm going to turn it over to Karen Lynch. And Karen, you do your thing. And I do want to remind people that we do have a $9.99 per unit Botox offer through the end of May. Memorial Day and as well as Mother's Day is coming up. And just getting back so that we can take care of some of those wrinkles that are starting to come back. Everyone's feeling a little bit blah, and we wanted to celebrate. Again, we're midway through the year. This is our 20th year anniversary, so this is a little promotion for all of you. So Karen, take it away.
Well, this is Help I Need Botox and Fillers, and we have my daughter-in-law with us today, Katelyn, and one of the things she asked me for her birthday in February was Botox, and so I gladly gifted that to her, and now she wants to come in and get it, and of course we've been down, so, and she wants a little bit filler for her lips just to look more refreshed, but we kind of want to talk to her today about just what she's been doing at home while she can. She's a new mom, she's in a new city, and her husband, my son, and their baby have been, you know, completely quarantined from the rest of the family. And while it's hard for us, she's been doing great. So I'm going to let you take it away.
Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. I'm super happy to be here with everyone and just kind of share a little bit about what I've been doing during this time. Like Karen said, I am so excited to get back in to advanced cosmetic surgery and get some Botox and filler. Like Dr. Mendelsohn said, $9.99 a unit is an awesome deal. So if you haven't considered Botox, now is the time. So like Karen mentioned, I am about a little shy of 3 months postpartum. And with that being said, a new baby is definitely a change, not only in just your daily life, but your routines. And so being quarantined with my baby has been a blessing for me because I've been able to spend a little bit more time with him, but I've also been having the opportunity to like really get my routines a little bit more structured. And what I mean by that is one of them being my facial routine, so my skincare routine. So I've really hunkered down on making sure this is something that I prioritize every day, morning and night. And then I also add in just, you know, a couple masks throughout the week to help with just complexion and overall texture and the skin tone that I want to achieve. Another thing that I've really been focused on is exercise. I think when we're all quarantined, sometimes we just need mental clarity. And for me, mental clarity is exercising. And so whether I'm doing in-home exercises down in my office area, or if I'm going outside, because I think going outside and getting that vitamin D is so essential to helping your mental clarity. So those are two things that I've really tried to focus on during this quarantine. And I think it's really helped because I've also been able to give a better version of myself to my son during this time. So I think those are two things that if you're not doing them, they're definitely things that I would consider. And as part of my skincare routine, it's really simple. So I have a couple components that I just want to highlight that I think are really important. So a cleanser, and then I follow that up with a vitamin C and a vitamin E. And then I follow that up with a moisturizer, an eye cream, and then I use sunscreen. Whether you're in or outside, you need sunscreen every single day. So those are just a couple things that I wanted to highlight for you guys that I think are staples and essentials in your skincare routine. And like Karen said, after all of this is lifted and we can get back to normalcy, I am definitely making an appointment and getting in for Botox and filler. Those have been two things that I think have really helped my confidence. And I've said it before, but when you look good, you feel good. So those are two things that make me feel really good. And so Botox for me, you know, being the age of 30, I think it's just one of those things that helps with anti-aging. So I don't necessarily feel like I need it per se, but the nurses at Advanced Cosmetic Surgery really help with making it look as natural as possible, which is definitely something I'm going after. So like I mentioned before, if you guys haven't considered it, I highly recommend now is the time, especially with the offer that they're going with for $9.99 a unit.
Awesome. So, Katelyn, tell us where you've had your Botox treatment placed. Where in your face?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've had it in my forehead, in between my eyebrows, outside of my eyes, which is called your crow feet. And then my most recent Botox, which I actually really liked, was in my masseter muscle. And the reason I got that wasn't because of cosmetic reasons. It was more because I found myself at work constantly clenching on my jaw. And I would be like, why am I having all these headaches? What is going on? And I actually went ahead and got the Botox into my masseter muscle in my jaw and noticed a world of difference. And I was just telling my husband the other day that I can tell it's probably time for me to get it because I've started to do it again. And I think it's, obviously the newness and being a mom and some stresses and anxiousness that come along with that. But the amount of pain that it relieved for me was tremendous. And so that's another thing that people maybe don't consider because for me, when I started to research into it, I was like, oh, wow, that is something that I can get Botox for jaw relief. I would have never put those two hand in hand. And it's definitely something that I highly recommend if you struggle with something like that.
So I think you brought up a couple of great points. One is that at the age of 30, you don't have the kinds of lines you'd expect for my age, but putting a little bit of Botox is keeping things soft and fresh. And so it really is preventative. And we think of Botox as kind of interfering when somebody already has some lines, but also just helping your expression. It helps minimize new lines. And we also treat other muscle groups. So the masseter muscle is this big chewing muscle. And when you clench your jaw, you can feel it. And some people, they will treat masseter cosmetically because they want their face to narrow, but other people will use it for TMJ. They wake up and they've got a headache or jaw pain, and it's very effective to relax that. And similarly, we'll use Botox at different areas around the head, neck, upper back to treat migraine headaches.
Yes.
So one of the things I've had a patient say, oh my gosh, if I don't, and she's older, she's like my age, if I don't get in for my Botox, what's going to happen? Is everything going to go away? And in reality, it won't. The Botox effect, of course, will subside, and you might start to see some memory lines reoccur. But as soon as we place that Botox, things are going to quieten back down again. So.
Yeah, and I was going to mention that too, because I've read, a little bit about it, and just in getting it, I always want to be knowledgeable. And I think for me, one of the things is like, okay, do I have to go every 3 to 4 months? And that isn't necessarily true. So because I am, a little bit younger and my lines aren't as, I guess, deep, I can sometimes extend it 6, even 9 months. Now, it's been a little bit longer because the last time I got it's been over a year due to pregnancy, and then breastfeeding, you cannot get it. But with that being said, I still notice that I have it in me, which is really great because it just helps to gain that confidence. And I know that when I start to go back again, it'll just be something that I can continue on. So like I mentioned, it's not something that you necessarily need every 3 to 4 months, but it does something that I think for me, I like to keep it around the 6-month mark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very individualized. We see patients who come in every 3 months like clockwork, and their muscles are so strong that they're ready for it. All their movement is back. And then we see patients really of any age who maybe they've retrained themselves not to frown, so they can really space out the treatment. It's a great thing about the Botox is its flexibility for what you need, what your budget is, timing.
Yes, exactly.
So Katelyn, tell us a little bit about the filler that you've had in your lips too.
Yeah, so I've actually had filler both in my lips and in my cheeks. The cheeks was the one that I was like in love with, and the lips I also really loved. My lips have always been a little bit smaller. I haven't had filler in my lips probably, in 2 or 3 years now, but I loved it, and it just was, again, another confidence booster. And I didn't get a ton. It was honestly not painful at all. They do a really great job of making you feel at ease, like I've mentioned, and just the numbing piece. So yeah, I think that was another piece of just facial things that I really enjoyed. And the cheek filler was something that I also really enjoyed. It just gave a really nice contour and just helped with, I think, just lifting almost. So those were two things that I would also recommend and definitely loved.
Yeah, and Katelyn, you're a great example that filler in a younger person can be very natural. No one really notices
Yes.
except for you. Contouring and lifting the cheek a little bit helps with the area that you're highlighting. And same for lips. You can emphasize the cupid's bow or the outline or the pout. And it's very subtle, but it's just a soft tweak to something that you naturally already have.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. And it wasn't, something that I was like, gosh, I want to dramatically look different. And that wasn't the goal. And that isn't the goal at Advanced Cosmetic Surgery. They're really honing in on what can we do to just enhance that natural look for you guys. And so I thought that was, one of the many reasons that I love going to you guys, is because you're all about just enhancing that natural look, which I think is awesome and definitely helps with the confidence.
That's great.
So do we want to bring Traci on?
Yeah.
Hi, Traci.
Hi, Traci.
Hi.
So Traci, since you've been home, kind of go over a little bit with us about what you've been doing with your routine, and if you even have one, and how you and what you've been looking forward to.
Actually, I was thinking about what Katelyn was saying is I've actually focused in a lot on my skincare routine. I know I was slacking a lot because I've been super busy at work, but now that we've been home, I've been doing all my steps I'm supposed to be doing morning and night. Like even, I was going to say right now, like I haven't been wearing like full face makeup. I have tinted sunscreen on and some mascara. That's it, because I don't like to wear a lot of makeup anyways, but I can tell a huge difference with my skin since I've been actually focusing on what I should be doing. My routine has been, oh my gosh, it's crazy. We're homeschooling. So I have a 2nd grader and a 6th grader. 6th grade work is tough. I was like, I don't even remember doing half this stuff. So I have to like Google everything. So that's been great. 2nd grade's not too bad. It's just her attention span is like, after 30 minutes, she's done. She doesn't want to do anything anymore. So I can't wait to get back to work, get in my routine, get back into surgery. I miss everything. My 2 things that I want to do as soon as everything's lifted is get my hair done and get Botox. I've noticed that I used to get Botox not just because of the lines in my forehead, but because I would get headaches. So I've noticed that it's starting to wear off. So my headaches are coming back. So that's been the worst part of it so far, is that I can tell everything's starting to go down now. So now my headaches are coming back. So that's not been very fun. But yeah, getting back into the routine of going to work and surgeries, what I can't wait.
All right. So Traci, you're another great example, I think, of someone who's younger, who's really benefiting from Botox, not only prevention of those lines getting deep, but also keeping your headaches at bay by keeping that muscle tension relaxed. I can imagine there's a lot of muscle tension trying to homeschool your daughters.
Yes.
What a crazy switch up of life.
I know. And it's so funny yesterday, they were like, they're like, we miss our teachers so much. They're so much nicer. And I'm like, I'm not a teacher. I'm like, just get your work done. I'm like, we've been butting heads a lot.
Yeah. I think it's interesting, Traci, that now that you've got the time to kind of follow your skincare routine at home, you're actually seeing your skin improve.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I think the segment that will air today, that aired yesterday, Wendy was talking about skincare and things that we can do at home. So those are great tips to kind of keep us all in the game.
Yes.
Do you have any other comments or thoughts for the people out there on maintaining sanity while you're home?
Getting out, walking. My dog actually loves that we're home, so she's eating up all the attention. So getting to walk her twice a day, she's in heaven. She loves it. So and we have woods behind my house, so we've been going down the creek. They're having fun. They love it. I don't think they even want to go back to school. I'm ready. They're not.
Yeah. So as we're talking, we have one patient who was very anxious about what's happening. She says, to me, Botox and filler are essential, and I'm really unhappy. I can go buy liquor, but I can't get my Botox filler.
Yeah.
You shout out to that patient. I won't say any names, but for listening and watching us. And my words to her were, it's going to be fine. Even if your Botox treatment is extended a month or two longer than you normally go, once we get that Botox back in place, muscles are going to relax, your skin's going to recover. Same with filler. You know, filler dissipates slowly. And so even if you're feeling like many of us are, hey, it's time for a little bit of topping off or touching up of my filler, we'll be able to do that. You'll see the results right away, and you'll be back in the game. So don't be panicked or worrying if you're missing out on treatments. Yeah, I know.
Noticed,
we're all needing something, aren't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I noticed that because I actually have filler under my tear troughs because I had dark circles, you know, and everybody, I'm young, I'm 30, I just turned 34, but I still had those dark circles. So just recently I noticed it's been over a year that I actually had that done. And I'm like, looking at it now, I'm like, oh yeah, I need to top that off. I don't need a full treatment, but I do need to top it off before it's all gone.
Yeah, and that's so great to illustrate that once we treat you to correction, about once every 6 months to a year, depending on your age and your body, you're going to use about half the volume to replace or top off what we've already put in there. I think I use probably about 2 syringes a year just to kind of keep that 2 to 3, depending, keep that facelift effect going non-surgically. And Karen has had her advanced lift surgery, but she also still is a user of filler to maintain the volume and do some things that surgery is not able to do. Right. So we're seeing the spectrum of daughters, you're the age of my daughters basically, and then the age range on these products is pretty marvelous. Yeah. What else, Karen? Can you think of anything else for these lovely ladies?
No, I just miss everybody. I can't wait till we're all together again. I think we're all waiting for that, and I really appreciate Traci and Katelyn taking your time to be with us today. And
you're welcome. I actually had to get up and do my hair and makeup this morning.
That's what I said. I was like, this is the first. But I love it. It makes me feel good.
Yeah, it does. Kind of get you back into the normalcy. But so stay tuned with us every day. If you have any questions about this, we're happy to answer them. And we'll be on every day around noon. So thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks again. Bye.
Take care. Bye.